Welcome to Donald Trump's America once again. After years of closely contested elections, this one broke the pattern. Trump's victory marked a historic moment, securing the highest number of popular votes for the Republican Party in over 2 decades. After defeating his Democratic rival, Vice President Kamala Harris, Donald Trump has emerged once again as the president-elect. Set to return to the White House this January, his victory comes just 4 years after he incited an insurrection following his loss in the 2020 election. In doing so, Trump becomes only the second US president in history to serve non-consecutive terms, joining the ranks of Grover Cleveland. Despite being impeached twice, facing multiple criminal trials and securing felony convictions, Trump triumphed in a landslide victory across all key swing states, completing one of the most remarkable political comebacks in American history.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President-elect Donald J. Trump.
It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
In 2024, the Democratic Party suffered a crushing defeat, losing not just the presidency, but a critical hold on the American electorate. And the fallout was inevitable.
Won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow.
While many factors contributed to the party's downfall, one issue in particular cast a long shadow over the election: the war in the Middle East. But it wasn't just the conflict itself that turned the tide. A confluence of crises, from inflation and security threats to immigration, Afghanistan's chaotic withdrawal, and the handling of abortion rights, pushed many Americans, including key minority groups, to reject the party in power. In this video, we're breaking down the key reasons why the Democrats lost the White House in 2024, and how the Middle East crisis played a decisive role. Welcome to the Fact Wave. The war in the Middle East, particularly the escalating violence in Gaza and ongoing tensions in the region, became one of the central issues that swayed voters in the 2024 election. Under President Biden, the US struggled with its foreign policy response, leading to significant backlash. Voters, especially in key swing states with large Arab American and Muslim American populations, were frustrated with what they saw as weak leadership in handling the conflict. While the Democrats had traditionally enjoyed support from these communities, the events in Gaza caused many to reconsider their allegiance.
We are supporting Donald Trump because he promised to end war in the Middle East and Ukraine. The bloodshed has to stop all over the world, and I think this man can make that happen.
I'm very proud that I endorsed President Trump, and I broke the wall of fear among the Arab American and Muslim Americans, and I destroyed that wall of isolation and the wall of silence and the wall of hesitance among the Arab Americans. And now, today, we had a survey that was posted among the Arab Americans in the Metro Detroit.
With Biden's administration seen as overly aligned with Israel and insufficiently addressing Palestinian concerns, many Arab and Muslim voters, especially in states like Michigan and Pennsylvania, felt alienated. Many in these communities had hoped for a balanced approach, but the perception of a lack of empathy toward the Middle Eastern crisis left them disillusioned with the Democratic Party. But the fallout didn't stop there. The Democrats' handling of Afghanistan's chaotic withdrawal in 2021 haunted them throughout the 2024 campaign. The images of Kabul's fall, the tragic evacuation of American citizens and allies, and the botched exit plan cast a shadow over Biden's leadership. The situation left many questioning the competence of the administration, especially when it came to handling global security threats and maintaining national interests abroad. The evacuation, which was rushed and poorly managed, led to intense criticism and lives of 13 US service members, along with approximately 170 Afghan civilians, by the suicide attack at Kabul International Airport's Abbey Gate. Furthermore, the vetting process of Afghan evacuees was widely perceived as sloppy, creating fears about national security risks. With terrorism threats remaining high, many voters, including more conservative-leaning minorities, felt that the Biden administration had failed to secure American interests both at home and abroad. For voters who had hoped the US would withdraw carefully and responsibly, the mishandling of Afghanistan's exit was a critical blow. At home, inflation was another major factor that cost the Democrats crucial votes. As the Biden administration struggled to rein in rising costs, especially gas, groceries and rent, the impact of inflation hit working-class voters hard. With everyday expenses soaring, many Americans blamed the Democrats for policies that they felt exacerbated the cost of living crisis. Swing states like Michigan, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, which had been key to Biden's 2020 victory, saw rising dissatisfaction. Even moderate and previously loyal Democratic voters grew frustrated, pushing them toward Trump's campaign, which promised a return to America First economic policies, including tax cuts, deregulation, and a focus on domestic manufacturing. Trump's rhetoric on bringing jobs back to America and addressing inflation with direct economic policies made a significant dent in the working-class vote. Another global issue that caused friction with the Democratic base was the ongoing war in Ukraine. While Biden's administration took a firm stance against Russian aggression, sending military aid and supporting sanctions, many Americans, particularly among conservative and minority groups, were growing weary of US involvement in a foreign conflict that seemed to have no end in sight. For many, it felt as though American resources were being drained overseas, while domestic issues like inflation, unemployment and rising crime were left unaddressed. In states like Ohio, Florida and Arizona, which have large working-class populations, the perception that American funds were better spent at home rather than in Europe contributed to a significant shift in voter loyalty. Abortion, another deeply divisive issue, also played a major role in the 2024 election. After the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade in 2022, abortion rights became a central issue for many voters. However, while the Democrats were expected to benefit from the issue, the reality was more complicated. Young voters, particularly women, rallied behind abortion rights, but the issue wasn't as black and white as it seemed. Many conservative-leaning minority groups, especially among Latino and Muslim communities, were deeply conflicted about abortion, which led to some unexpected shifts. Trump's messaging, which focused on states' rights and a return to more conservative family values, resonated with these groups, many of whom were uncomfortable with what they viewed as the more extreme positions taken by the left.
I believe personally that God has saved his life for a reason, which is to save the lives of others. We support Donald J. Trump for his commitment to promoting family values and protecting our children's well-being, especially when it comes to curriculums and schools. We as Muslims support this man because we believe that he will be a president for all Americans, embracing every race, color, and religion.
In swing states like Michigan, Pennsylvania and Arizona, where diverse ethnic communities, Latino, Arab and Muslim, are growing in influence, Trump's strategic outreach made a huge impact. His positioning on issues like national security, immigration and abortion led many to reconsider their alignment with the Democrats, despite traditionally voting blue. In the end, the Democrats' inability to effectively address the Middle East crises, combined with domestic challenges like inflation, abortion and national security concerns, ultimately led to a shift in voter sentiment. Key minority communities, including Arab and Muslim Americans, many of whom had voted for Biden in 2020, voted against Democratic candidate Kamala Harris in 2024. Their disillusionment with Biden's foreign policy was further compounded by the continuation of his policies under Vice President Kamala Harris. And handling of domestic issues played a significant role in flipping crucial swing states and giving Trump the edge. The 2024 election wasn't just a referendum on the economy or foreign policy, it was a decisive moment for the future of American politics. As the war in the Middle East raged on and global instability continued to shape national concerns, the fallout for Democrats was clear. It cost them the White House, and with it their grip on both houses of judiciary branch, with an increasingly volatile and divided electorate. Thanks for watching The Fact Wave. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe and share this video with others. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Gaza crisis was the tipping point in the 2024 election? We'll see you next time.